What's up? It's your boy AR the Credit Push, and you now tapped in with Peep Game. This is a conversation that you don't want to miss, so I need y'all to be locked in. We're going to be covering everything about financial literacy, lifestyle stuff, everything that y'all want to hear about, man. So tap in.
Y'all make miracles happen.
You guys are trying to smoke. Hey, follow Peep Game, man. Peep Game Entertainment.
Y'all make miracles happen.
For sure.
Welcome to the spill, where you can keep your yak on chill. It's Kenny B for real, you know what I'm saying? We with a special guest, AR, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, how you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. I'm blessed. God didn't allow me to breathe another day. He didn't allow me to be here to be motivational and be able to push forward and do what I need to do. So I'm grateful to be here right now.
Man, for sure, man. It's a long time coming, man. I feel like we got a lot to talk about.
We definitely do.
But I actually want to dig deep. Pause. I want to dig deep first, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I want to ask you, what is your definition of success?
My definition of success?
Yeah.
If you asking me what my definition of success is, I would say mainly being able to have the freedom to be able to do what you want to do with your family, to be able to live the way that you want to live. I feel like a lot of people in this world nowadays, they're not able to do the things they want to do. They got financial traumas. They got a lot of things that's binding them to the past, to where the point where they can't think forward and, do what they need to do. So my definition of success would just be the actual freedom. I don't care if it's financial freedom or whatever it is, just to having that freedom to be able to take your children to do what you want to do, to take a trip, to do whatever you want to do, just to be able to live your life the way that you want to the fullest potential.
Oh, I like that. I feel like mine is based around the same thing too. You know what I'm saying? And another thing that for me is being able to laying a good foundation down for the people after me. I think that's one of the big things for me too, is laying a good foundation. And at the same time, we didn't grow up, you know what I'm saying, having the people to go to and having the mentors and, you know what I'm saying, knowing what's right and what's wrong. Yeah. So what led you to get on the track that you're on right now?
What led me on my path right now, everything leading up to this point and all of the transitions that I had went through in life was really being incarcerated. I had caught a case, and that allowed me to sit down, and I had to really learn myself more. I had to figure out what I liked about myself, what I disliked, and I had to figure out how to build up on that. So during that time, I started picking up skills. I started actually believing in myself. Now, when I was in the streets, I didn't have that mindset that I actually believed that I could do anything other than hustle or make music, so I didn't really believe that I could do anything better than that. So when I actually learned more about business and I was able to dissect that a little bit more and just really analyze how the structure of all that worked, it worked the same way the streets work, but you just got to do it the corporate way. So what I did, honestly, I was watching a lot of my homeboys named Wall Street Trapper. I'm pretty sure people are familiar with him. He does the stocks, but he always talking his spiel. So when I seen a person like him that been through some of the same things I've been through, and I seen he was able to make it out, sometimes you just got to see it, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I feel like a lot of people need to be put in positions to see things that's bigger than where they come from. So when I seen a person that came from the same struggle as me in even worse predicaments, and he was able to,
prosper
and make it work, I'm like, man, why can't I do that? So I started reading, started learning about stocks. I was just trying to dive into anything just to learn a new skill. So along with me learning about stocks, I got into the credit game, and I started learning how to, leverage off my personal credit and get business credit so I can do the funding sequences and stuff. And I was really just trying to get the money to dump back into my stock portfolio, because I was doing fundamentals and then I got into stock options. So my whole objective was just to get the business funding, load up the account so I can options trade and double up my bag. And I was just trying to get out the streets. I was trying to figure it out. So by any means necessary, I didn't try so many different businesses before I actually figured out how the credit game worked and figured out what I wanted to do. I feel like a lot of people get stuck. They see the glory on social media. They like, hey man, each billionaire or millionaire, they got all of these hustles, they got all these passive incomes. I done seen so many people fail at doing Turo, Airbnb. I done seen them fail at doing stocks, credit, everything you can possibly think of, whether it's real estate or whatever, because they're all spread all over the place and they spread themselves thin. So I had to learn that you got to lock in and focus on one thing. So
one thing at a time.
Yeah. So I just had to figure out what worked for me, but it didn't happen for me. And I didn't figure out what I really needed to be doing until I ran into my actual coach. Now it's a difference between a coach and an actual mentor, and I had to learn the difference. So I have a life coach where he checks on me every day. He asks me how I'm doing, what I got going on. He makes sure that I'm actually, applying what I need to apply. Then I got a mentor. I only speak to him every 3 months. He don't have time to talk to me every day. But when we talk,
got shit going.
Yeah, when we talk though, we dive all the way in and we lock in. So honestly, that's what, to go back, and I feel like I went forward.
No, you're good.
But to go back, that's what actually helped me transition. It was just having that time to myself, isolation, reading. I stopped smoking weed. I stopped drinking. I'm 6 years sober of marijuana and liquor. So I fully just left everything in the past. I stopped hanging around certain people, and I really locked in with myself. And it came with time management and discipline. Like that discipline really took me further than I could ever imagine. And I mean, I wouldn't take me going to jail back for nothing. Like I feel like it's a part of my journey. It was meant to happen. It was really a blessing in disguise. I had to go through that to be where I'm at now. So,
and you know what that is though? I feel like that's taking advantage of your opportunities.
Exactly.
Because like, you know how people be like, man, I ain't grew up like this, or I ain't had that and I ain't had that. But it's like sometimes there's opportunities that you didn't take because you was in your own way.
You speaking the gospel and the truth, because a lot of times we are the biggest people that can condemn ourselves, or we can, make us be like, oh, I can't do it. And, once you got that doubt in your mind, if you got a little inch of doubt, it's not going to work, because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in what you're trying to do. So, and even with family members and if you got a girl or your family, whatever you got, everybody's not going to get your vision. They're not going to see what you see. So I had to learn that I had to learn that the hard way, because I would try to project this positive, good energy, but everybody wasn't mentally there. Or if I went with my mentor, man, when I met him, I went over there with him. He showed me $100 million real estate contract for one portfolio. So I'm looking at it, I'm like I never seen that. Like, I'm just gonna keep it all the way 100. Like, I'm used to being in the streets. You see hood rich people. You see,
you see 40 bands, or you see,
not even 40. I done seen a couple niggas that's in the hood be worth a $500,000. They got a couple $250,000. They living in the hood. Really living and doing their thing. So to actually go there and see people doing it the corporate way, and they're actually really living, and I'm looking. He showed me that just for one contract, and then I'm seeing them having all these different event spaces that's consistently making passive income, and I'm looking like, dang. Like, it's real.
And you know what, not to cut you off, but you know the difference between that street $500,000 and then that $1 million, obviously is a difference between $1 million and $500,000, but it's that perception. Because at the end of the day, that nigga that's in the streets that got that 500, he like, nigga, I'm him.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm the president.
They don't understand.
But not realizing that, nigga, if you can make this 500 out the streets, nigga, you can
do more.
You can make the real chili out here when you really put your mind. Because at the end of the day, when you doing that shit in the streets and you doing this, it's time. Your time management is on point.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So if you put your time management somewhere else, there ain't no way, there ain't no levels of where you could go.
If you can hustle in the streets and you can be in the streets and make money, and you make a lot of money, you can go in the corporate world. A lot of them guys, their lives is set. I'm not saying they're complacent, but they feet kicked up. We hungry. I come from the bottom of the bottom.
Yeah, I'm hungry as hell.
Yeah, when I come in there, like, hey, I'm in survival mode still. So it's like you still trying to get by, and it's like you gotta get out of that mindset. So you gotta be around people that's smarter than you, better than you at certain things. Like, I had to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Now, when I used to go in those rooms, I used to always pray, like, man, let me get in that room. Then I got in the room.
Yeah, you know what to do.
Damn, no, I knew what to do. I'm like, how do I stay in this room? Because now I made it in here.
Okay.
How do I add value? How do I build a relationship with this person? How can I bring value to them? How can we partner? Because that's where you make the real money, is at the partnerships at the top. So that's what I had to learn. When I got in there, I'm like, damn, I'm coming in there. I remember when I first got around my mentor, bro, me and bro, Beezy, we get in there, man, I'm wearing a citizenship, bro. A citizenship watch, 500. I done had this watch since like dang near when I first got out of high school. I just always kept it. It was just, I'm like, when I make enough.
Yeah,
I didn't always had enough to go buy the Rollies and all that, but it's like at the same time, I didn't have none of the assets that matched up. Like, and I knew that even in the streets, like, it don't make sense to have all this jewelry and all this other stuff when you're not having.
Man, I still be rocking Nixons and all types of shit.
Man, so, not to cut your knowledge, man, when I got in the room, I remember we sat there, bro. I put my arm on the table. Man, I'm looking, the females, the men, all of them rolled up. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang.
But a watch will tell a story. And that's the thing. You got to have a nice, I'm not saying you got to, but when you go to certain places, y'all peep game. Your face will talk for you. Sometimes you don't even got to talk. But that's the thing with networking, though. You got to be able to go in and know how to conduct yourself in these buildings and know how to talk. You know what I'm saying? Because a certain way how you answer might open up a door or close a door. You know what I'm saying?
He definitely right about that. Like, even like if I go into like a corporate convention or a networking event, I can't go in there and wear all the loud jewelry. Now, it's cool, it look flashy, it's nice, but honestly, they be in there in
chilling,
Skechers and all type of, just,
I already know. I was just in Microsoft. They like, man, I'm telling you, nigga, I was in there straight.
Yeah, real money don't move like that. And I had to learn that when I was going into these events, all flashy and stuff. what I start noticing is what they pay attention to. They pay attention to your watch. They look at your social media following, and then they see how can we work together? How can you benefit? How can I benefit? The value that you're gonna bring. Like, what value do you have? And if you're not good at having a good skill to offer, you don't have the social media following, and you probably don't have a nice watch to make them want to start a conversation, it's probably going to be a alarm off the back. You know what I'm saying? You got to be good at the mouthpiece. You got to know how to be well-rounded to be in these rooms with different people. So I had to learn all of those things. I've always been a people person, so I knew how to conduct myself, how to talk around certain people. You know, so when I got in those rooms, I worked from the bottom up. I didn't care if I had a Citizen or if I had on Balenciaga. I don't care about none of the designer, none of the jury. I didn't care about none of that. I went in there, I'm like, I have a skill, I got a story. And I feel like that's what a lot of people that's really defined in the world, they all have a story and a skill. It's something that they're doing. I don't care if you're athletic, you got a story behind that because you might have came from a bad predicament and you overcame that to become who you are. And your skills speak for itself. So for me, I looked at it like, hey, I'm Aries Alexander, but I'm also the credit pusher. You know what I'm saying? So what does the credit pusher stand for? Does credit pusher stand for, okay, I can literally push your credit. You know, I can help you get that 800 credit score, and I'm the credit pusher. I come from a hustler background. It fit me. It's what I do. So I wanted to be able to go back and help the people that didn't have that from the bottom. So I had to figure out what my purpose was. And now that I figured it out, I read in the Bible that it says, whatever makes you angry, you were meant to solve. I can't remember the scripture exactly, so don't quote me on that. But
that's cool though, because they can look that up.
Exactly. So whatever makes you angry, you were meant to solve. And I knew what made me angry. I didn't like how the system treated us. I didn't like feeling like I was always counted out. I didn't like seeing single moms grow up on Section 8 and they couldn't, take care of their children. I didn't like seeing people that get locked up in the system and they don't get a second chance to get back out in the world. I don't like seeing people that can't do that. So I wanted to change that. I wanted to help people. So my goal is to be the most impactful that I can be. I want to be one of the most impactful entrepreneurs in this world. So that's my main mission. I want to create over 1,000 six-figure earners, and I want to be able to educate over 500,000 people about financial literacy and credit. So that's my main goal. I'm pushing every single day. I'm praying, locked in with God. Like I'm really on a different kind of timing now. Like God really been opening me up, and he been really just aligning me in the right places with the right people. So I pay attention to energy and the signs that God send me, and I really, follow that.
Because that is really big, bro. Because I feel like with having God in your life, because like I got asked a question yesterday, just basically asking me like, hey, can you be able to build a foundation without God?
And you can't. You cannot build a foundation without believing in God. And I feel like a lot of us
go ahead.
I feel like a lot of us have, it don't matter how they look at it. Some people are Muslims, they believe in Buddhism. Some people are atheists. Some people believe in the universe. Some people believe in God. But at the end of the day, we all had praying grandparents, great-great-grandparents. You got them old blessings on you. You know what I'm saying? So you have to follow those instincts. You know what was installed in you as a kid, and you might not, always go how it's supposed to go, but it's not made to go like that. Like I look at life like this, is that when you're leveling up and you're meant to go somewhere in life, you're gonna have bad things happen. It's meant to happen. I've been learning how to embrace that and stay pure through the negative things. So like I used to get stressed out and be like, man, I don't know why this happened to me and this and that, da-da-da. And I had to start just embracing it like, okay, what can I do about it?
Nothing.
I can't. So I'm going to pray and I'm going to come up with a solution to fix this. I can't sit here and
you got to be proactive, because once you sit down in it and soak in it, you don't never know how long you'll be able to get out of that. You know what I'm saying? Because you create yourself into you just dig yourself into a hole, and that's what we were talking about. It's really in your head, and that's another thing I was gonna say. Like with everything that you've been through, and even trying to encourage people to do different things, I feel like mental health is a big thing that we don't talk about, especially as Black men.
Yeah.
And I feel like you said before, everybody always goes through different stuff that you don't even talk about. Yeah. And I feel like even going through like the things that you went through as far as going to jail and all that different stuff, I feel like you had to make a critical decision with yourself to get yourself together. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like at the end of the day, you got to reach a breaking point to be able to reach the pinnacle.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like and that's where I feel like I'm at. Like I feel like I've always been like pushing. But I feel like I reached a breaking point in a lot of things. And when I reached that breaking point, I feel like that's when I like really fell more back into God more. It's like, okay, now I'm getting into my quiet space. I'm getting into my devotions every day. I'm making sure I'm trying to catch every sign. I'm praying, I'm listening. I'm figuring out what's going on, because I know, You know what I'm saying? I can't do it alone.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? So I say all that to say, how did you overcome? You obviously you don't got to tell us the detail, but how did you come your mental health situations?
Like I said, I had to really look myself in the mirror. I had to be truthful with myself, and I had to, like I said, it came with identifying the things that I wanted to change about myself. It didn't start until I was ready to fully change. My mom could have wanted me to do it. My girl, anybody in the world could have wanted me to do that. You know what I'm saying? But it took for me to have to want it for myself to actually do it. So I had to really, dive into that, and I had to really look myself in the mirror like, man, I want to change. Like, I don't want to drink. I don't want to smoke. I don't want to be around these kind of people. So I isolated myself. I'm like, I'm not going to deal with that no more. I had to dive into that bag, but it came with a lot of prayer. And trust me, it was not easy. Like,
No, it ain't.
transitioning is not easy at all, whether you're doing it for whatever reasons you're doing it, whether it's to, stop doing it because you want to stop or whatever it is. Like, to get out the streets and stop getting fast money was hard for me because it was a humbling experience. It was an ego thing, you know what I'm saying? Because when you're able to do what you want to do, you're able to buy things and do things the way you want to do it when you want to do it. You don't have to wait and get it the corporate
It's like
way.
an experience we ain't never had because we ain't had that.
Yeah, so it's like even if you had it, so say if you did come with the silver spoon or you didn't come with it, like I feel like a lot of us had to fight from the bottom and make it up. So for a person that started broke, you get money and you lose money, you get money, you might not lose it as fast as you did the first time, and you get it again and you lose it again. It's like, okay, this fourth,
I'm
third,
not
fourth,
doing it
not
again.
finna do that again. I'm gonna hold on to this a little bit more. So it's different when you done hit different pinnacles. You done been broke, been rich, been broke, been rich, and you get back there and you like, I don't want to go back through that. So then it's like, okay, if I do got to go through that, I need to learn more about myself so it doesn't, affect me so much more. So I had, like I said, it was more of a humbling experience. It was more of an ego thing. And once I was able to overcome that, it just started helping me a lot more. But yeah, it took a lot of prayer. It took a lot of prayer. And every day is a battle. Every day is a battle. I'm not going to ever say that.
Man, we seeing every day, bro.
Yep. That's just how it's going to be. There's nothing we could do to change that.
Yeah.
This is real.
Another thing is, what made you out of all the different? Because you've been in a whole bunch of different rooms. You got all these different entrepreneurs. You know what I'm saying? We even had different conversations. Like, yeah, because I was up here at the with the Invest Fest. Actually, let's get to that, man.
Invest Fest is pretty dope.
You've been trying to get me to go for 2 years, and I'm bullshitting.
It's not bullshitting. It's just the timing. It's the timing.
Like I feel like that is a big event for people, not even just people of our color, just people in general.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't even know about. So
A lot of people don't know about it.
Get us it, man. What is? Give us some key factors on why you think people should go to Invest Fest if they have a business or they're an entrepreneur or if they got shit going on or they want to build or want to bubble up.
Because for one, you're going to probably run into a coach or a mentor that can potentially change your life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go to coaches and the mentorship part of things right now. So 10 years ago, you couldn't have told me investing $15,000, $20,000, $75,000 into a person to teach me something. Just logically wouldn't have made sense to me until I got in different rooms and I had to figure out that you have to invest into yourself. So a lot of people don't want to invest into themselves, but they just want everything handed to them. So as an entrepreneur and early, investor, whatever you are, I feel like InvestFest is great for anybody that's up and coming because you could not leave that event without networking with somebody. It's 20,000 some people there. There's no reason why you shouldn't leave with 10 connections. You should have 10 connections that you're following up with, staying in contact with, and doing what you need to do. You need to be very intentional when you go to these networking events. Like, don't go there and be playing around. Like, it's been a lot of events that I went with a group of people, and I had to get comfortable with going by myself. And when I went by myself, I made better connections because I wasn't binded to my homeboy or whoever I brought. And like, I ain't gonna talk to them because I'm chilling with bro. Like, nah, like my name's Arius. I'm
Man, I ain't out here playing. I ain't just spend this money to come out here. I'm talking to everybody.
You have to. So I think just the networking part of it, you're paying $250 to just go in there and be in a room full of 20,000, different people. You're running into celebrities. You're running into other entrepreneurs. They have vendor booths where you could potentially put your business in front of 20,000 people where you can just, either sell out, make money, whatever you want to do, have a whole podcast going in there. Like, it's so many different ways that you can potentially, network and make things happen. So I just think as an early investor, an early entrepreneur, I don't care what you're doing. I think you should be at InvestFest because it's big for our culture. This is one of the biggest entrepreneur events for our culture, and I feel like ain't nobody excluded out of it. I don't care where you from or what race you are. Another big one is Funnel Hacking Live, but the last one will be it's coming up in like February. So if people don't make it to that, I mean they do things on a whole different level. It's a big marketing a marketing event. But that's dope. But as far as InvestFest, man, I think everybody should definitely check it out. And don't miss it. Like, I made my best connections. I met my life coach. I met my mentor. I met all of them in there. And these were people I was seeing on YouTube and Instagram for years before I even locked in, when I wasn't even motivated to do nothing but trap. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there watching them like, damn, they going crazy online. I'm not knowing it's real. But when you get in the presence of people, you can feel the energy and you could tell what certain people is who. So like I said, man, get in the room. Be around people that's doing more than you. Get around a coach. Like, I look at it in these different methods right here. So I have ebooks. So ebooks is pretty much like a PDF file book where you can learn the information. Then you got courses. So then I got the pre-recorded courses breaking down whatever game I need to teach you about credit. Then you got the mentorship. So I look at it like this. I get this from Alex Hormozy. If most of y'all don't know who that is, he's a big time marketer. Check him out on Google or whatever. But long story short, he got a method. So if you buy an ebook, that's pretty much like you getting on a paddle boat, you paddle on your way to the Bahamas, right? You're going to get there, but it's going to take you a little bit longer, right? So then we got the course method. The course method, now you pretty much on the plane, you done jumped off the plane, you going through TSA, they getting your bag, you going through, it's a lot faster than being on that paddle boat going to the Bahamas. You already on the Bahamas on the plane. Then you got the other method where if you paying for mentorship, that's the jet experience, man. You got the champagne on the jet. We getting you there in an hour or two. You know what I'm saying? Boom, you there fast. So I look at a coach or a mentor is, what makes sense to me is if you're doing something in the category I want to learn and I want to be great at, why not pay you if you got receipts? If you made $1 million in business, I want to be a millionaire.
Me too. Why am I not doing that?
If your paying price is $10,000 or $15,000, $20,000, why wouldn't I pay you that to have you fast track me to learn all of the secrets and teach me how to not, bump my head and I can navigate through this faster? Why would I want to take the long route? So that's where credit becomes powerful, because if you got good credit, or even if you don't have good credit, I can help you get good credit anyways. But say if you did have good credit and you just leverage off that, you can get access to the business funding to where you can liquidate the credit card. So if you liquidating it, I'm gonna show you how to take the money off the credit card where you can be able to invest it into real estate portfolios. You can go take it and put it into storage units, whatever you want to do. And you have the access to go touch these 6 figures really fast. Like I have connections with banks and bankers inside the bank where I'm getting people approved for over 100-something thousand between, loans and different credit cards, lines of credit. We're running crazy plays right now. So that's where the power of credit come in hand at, because now you can leverage your way into getting a mentorship. You can leverage your way into getting some assets. And, you're not taking so much, risk. You're going to take risks, but you got to have an actual plan on how to get that bread. So it's just different ways. But like, I would use the credit if I didn't have the 10K or 20K what they're asking for, and I knew I wanted to learn from them. I would just get a business credit card. I would leverage off my personal credit, get the business credit card, pay that coach what he want. And man, hey, let me get in your network of people so I can network with other millionaires and other people that's doing what I want to do, or maybe somebody that's at my level where we can grow together and build, and we can start a partnership or something. So you just got to have the power, man, to just know how to use the information. So go to InvestFest. All I got to say, man, get you a coach. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's the message. Like, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Get in the rooms where you're uncomfortable. Get in the rooms where they're making so much money. We go in the room, man, I'm seeing people close for $12K. My mentor doing $100,000 days. He did $1 million day off of Instagram selling challenges and shit like that. I done seen it happen with my eyes, so I know that it's logically real.
It's possible.
And it can happen. Now, if I'm in the streets, you know how long it would have took me to make $250,000 and do all that? You know how much stuff you got to go through, the sequences of doing this and looking over your shoulder, wondering if somebody gonna set you up. Too much. It's just come with too much. You taking a big risk and you getting a little reward.
And all that time you got looking over your shoulder, overthinking, doing this and doing that, bro. You could have went
and just learned from somebody, or you could have came and got your credit fixed, and I could have taught you how to go in the bank, and you can go in there and go get 6 figures quick. I can show you how to get $50,000 on each credit card on a business side, where you're getting it between 2 credit cards and they pull your credit one time. And you didn't just leverage 2 to 3 products out of that bank, and now we're going to go liquidate that, and now we're going to go drop that down on some property. Now we're going to change the dynamics. We ain't got to hustle no more. We're going to credit push. We're going to push this. Like, it's a different dynamics now. If I'd have known this information years ago, man, it'd have been...
Niggas would have been stupid on.
Oh, it'd been...
Because you got, man, because even like, man, not even trying to say nothing like that, but it's like, at one point, it's like everybody was up. It's like... Yeah. Stupid up too, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, man, especially, and everybody was on it. So it was like, if everybody would have knew some shit like this, you know what I'm saying? 5-6 years ago, nigga, it would have been crazy.
But
You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing. It wasn't meant for us to know. You know what I'm saying? And
hit
at
it
the
right
end of the day, everybody went on their own paths, and everybody that's still linking up, I ain't gonna lie, it's crazy because like it might sound crazy, but it's like we was all doing shit. And then we all dipped out and started doing positive shit, pushing towards shit. So now seeing everybody be successful and start doing stuff in their own lane, I feel like we like goddamn like the Power Rangers, nigga. Because when niggas finally link up all together, nigga, it's gonna be crazy when everything happened like the vision's supposed to be. It's so many times where nigga, I didn't pull it up on you. We didn't sat down there, we rapped. It was a minute ago, but we had, that's how it started. You know what I'm saying? You telling me you about to start doing this credit shit, me telling you I'm about to start doing this pod and shit. You know what I'm saying? And we telling each other, nigga, just do that shit. Let's do it. Come on. These are certain books that I'm reading. This and you gave me some credit advice, all different types of shit. So, I feel like another thing that is big, I feel like, especially in our area, how do you feel about the people who are scared to go out and abroad and go and venture and just stuck in this area?
You gotta get out of the city. Like, you have to see different things. Even if you don't want to move right away, I mean, you just need to go see more. It's way more going on in life. Like, you need to travel. You need to go meet new people, network. Like, get out of your hometown. This is gonna be the dream killer every time. I guarantee you go somewhere different, you're gonna get way more support from the people on the outside than what you get back at home from your family, whether it's the family or the friends, because family gonna want discounts. People in your hometown gonna want discounts. People know you, so they gonna feel like, oh, that's like, it just comes
that's
too
bro.
much. Yeah, so like what I would say, man, be well-rounded. It's not a lot of people that can go other places and flourish. They don't know how to go other places and maneuver and adapt. Like, a lot of people don't know how to do that. They go places and they be stuck. They be timid. They don't know how to operate and how to network with people. So like, what I would say, man, just get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You have to go and be uncomfortable for a little bit.
You got to.
It's part of the game. Because
once you get too comfortable, man, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. And if you knew everything that was gonna happen in your life, you wouldn't do everything. Like, it's simple math. Like, I guarantee if a few people in the Bible, what we got David and Goliath. I guarantee if he would have knew all the stuff he had to go through to go against Goliath, he probably wouldn't have went out there and
especially with a slingshot. He's like, I ain't going out there.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who would have thought about doing all that? Like, certain people, even when you go in the Lions Den, like, if you would have knew you had to go, like, don't nobody want to go through those sequences of the fire. Like, so you just got to go through certain stuff and just figure out if you built for it or not. Like,
but also though, we might not be able to say that because he did go through multiple different stages before he got to Goliath, because he did kill that lion.
You're right.
Then he did, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, so in a way, you right, but also at the same time, I feel like that's why you got to keep God in your life, because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? He put stuff in your face, and if it continuously go in your face, that means you really got to fix it. And that's like what you said, you know what I'm saying? Whatever make you mad or whatever you got going on, it's there for you to fix. Because like at the end of the day, you know how like, I feel like sometimes in a way I used to like not say shit, you know what I'm saying, just to be like, I ain't gonna say shit, I'll let it cool. But like over a time I realized, like, you know what I'm saying, it ain't how you say it, it's like, you know what I'm saying, it's what you say. And I realized addressing stuff right away is sometimes the best thing, because at the end of the day, if you let that shit sink in and you just don't say nothing, the way it come out is gonna be ugly.
You're gonna explode. So if you're a person that don't project what you want to say right then and there, you're gonna let that build up in the inner, core of you. So then when it's too much, you're gonna be like, all right, look, you got me messed up.
and then they're gonna be like, man, you tweaking. What you tweaking for?
It's gonna go up, but like, you're gonna be like, nah, because you did this, and this, and then they're gonna be like, oh, whoa, you didn't say that when it happened. And then they looking like, dang, like, all right, bro, like, okay, I'm finna move around,
But that leads into communication though. And that, like, when people say communication is key, I feel like that is thrown, that phrase is thrown around just how like love is. It's like, oh yeah, I love you. Just like, communication key. I love you.
And a lot
you
of
know what I'm saying? They're not really what it really is.
You're right though, and that's another thing. Like, they do throw that out there in that same category. Like, it's like love, but like you said, they have to be real intentional. You got to be intentional with stuff. You have to be direct and let people know how you feel right away, because this is how I look at it. If you in the streets, if you let somebody step on you, they gonna keep continuously step on you. I come step on your shoes, you don't say nothing, I'm gonna keep.
Yeah, because I know you sweet.
Yeah, and like, all right, you ain't gonna say nothing, I'm gonna keep doing it. And then you're gonna like, all right, hey fam, I don't like that, chill out. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you gotta address stuff right then and there. But like you said, it's how you say it and when you say it sometimes, because it could be the wrong timing. It could be around somebody's female. It could be in an environment where it's too much going on to the point where you have to, have to tone it down a little bit. So I just look at it for what it is, and I have to, analyze the situation. If it's a situation where I understand it's a lot going on, I'm gonna say something, but I'm gonna pick the time when it's just us by ourselves. Like,
yeah, for
pull
sure.
To the side, like, hey, I ain't really.
Because some stuff be violating though. Because you know what I'm saying. That's why I feel like you are right when it come to certain instances. Because it's like you could say stuff and it could be like, bro, that was the complete wrong time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because and that will foil everything that was cooking. You know what I'm saying? And like I feel like that's the biggest thing. That goes back into praying. Like sometimes you just gotta if you can't figure it out, sometimes you just gotta pray about it.
You have to. It's your boy AR the Credit Pusher, man. If y'all need help with credit repair, business funding, or mentorship, I want y'all to hit the link down below so y'all can get y'all 15% discount. Let's go. Guidance, wisdom, and vision. And you just gotta ask him to just open those signs up for you. Like when I pray, that's what I pray. I pray for guidance, wisdom, and vision because I need that. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you need to be guided and navigated through your life. Sometimes you just need the wisdom. You need to learn the skills and get that knowledge. And then you just got to just figure out what worked for yourself. So that's what I live by them principles because I pray if something don't make sense. I pray about it and I figure out what's the best scenario for me and I wait for God to give me the answer, and then I execute. So execution over excuses. Like you have to be punctual on executing when things happen, when it need to happen. Sometimes we wait too long and you miss that train and life pass you up. So yeah.
I feel like that was a predicament that I was in at one point, just like not pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
And obviously figuratively, but just like not like kind of being indecisive.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And it was just kind of like, no, like you just got to snap into it. You make a decision, whether it's going to be obviously like you going to make a calculated decision.
You have to.
But it's like at the end of the day, sometimes that calculated decision ain't, you know what I'm saying? It might lead you into a wall, not a door, you know? But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? You still made a decision. You didn't sit there and linger in there because like I said, I seen a quote earlier when I was reading. I seen it like a few days ago, and it's basically saying like, hey, live out your dream or whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I watch somebody else live out mine.
Yep, and that's what push people to want to do certain things because if you see somebody projecting and they do something that you want to do, it could spark something in your brain to want to change and want to do that. But yeah, like you were saying, cause like it's just deep, man. I feel like just overall capping out everything like life and just thinking about everything. A lot of people don't have that sniper sense in them. It has to either be in you or it's not. And a lot of people are not around a lot of people that think the same way that they think are doing the things that they want to do. So a lot of people don't have those friends. And sometimes isolation does lead you in those paths to get, in those areas. So, man, I don't know. I just feel like this subject is so deep. You can't really cover every angle,
you can't.
But it get deep. You know what I'm
but
saying?
like even being around the wrong people though can really hinder you though, and like not like more than just like from the outside, like it can really like drain you.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And it's like learning how to say no is big as well. Like that 2-letter word is one of the biggest words in the English language. Not even nigga in language in general. Cause like I feel like saying no gives you peace. And at the same time, I seen somebody, he said, hey, I ain't changed my number. And I didn't have the same number since the numbers came out. And then he was like, I feel like people who change their number don't know how to say no.
It could be like that. And I feel like you could say yes 20 times. The one time you say no, everybody
they hate
different.
you. It's like, oh
man,
man, this nigga
you
here.
acting funny and this and that. So you have to be very intentional on the people that you have around you. You have to be intentional on what you want in life. Like you have to be dialed in with that and know what you want to do. A lot of people have that bad baggage and they carrying them bad demons and them spirits around them, and it's hard because you can love somebody, but sometimes you gotta love people from a distance. If they not own the same thing you own, sometimes you have to be comfortable with leaving them behind. And sometimes it hurt because 9 times out of 10 is probably gonna be somebody you really genuinely care about, whether it's your closest friend or your brother, your cousin. And sometimes they not own what you own. You can't feel bad about that. And they gotta respect you wanting to isolate yourself for the better. Now, if you wanna do things for, to better yourself, they have to respect that 100%.
Yep. Even mentally though too, like people got to respect that, and I feel like that's got to be communicated from your end too, because it can be family members, it could be friends. You could be like, hey, I rock with you, But mentally, we're not on the same level right now. So that's why we're not meshing. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no hate. It ain't no malice. Like, I don't feel no type of way about you. It's just I'm trying to better myself, and I just feel like we're not compatible.
Yep.
But like, I feel like that's just so hard for people to say.
It's a harsh thing to say, and I used to come off that way, and it used to come off very aggressive, and people didn't want to hear that. And I started noticing when I was telling people that, like close friends, family members, and stuff like that, and I'm telling them that, they looking at me like, damn. So I had to water it down a little bit. I still was saying it without saying it in a way. And sometimes, like you said, we are very intentional, but I had to let people know, like, oh, hey, I'm finna go on the block and do that. I'm not going over there. Where you gonna be at the house? I'll pull up on you when you get home.
Exactly. I'm not doing none of that.
Oh, man, I gotta I'm trying to go to the bar. I don't drink. I don't go there. That's not what I do. Now, if you want to come over here and I can teach you something, educate you, we can politic and we can network together and go brain to brain and we can figure it out.
That's
Pause,
cool.
You know what I'm saying? Brain for brain. But, like, you know,
that's
some
crazy.
knowledge, though. You know what I'm saying? Knowledge-wise, though, you feel me? Like, motherfuckers just going back and forth, you know, trying to figure out the play to get to the top. So you got to be intentional with that. Like, and I don't care. Like, I tell people all the time, like, hey, I'm not doing that. That's not how I move. I used to do what you said. I used to tell people, we not mentally there. And they, oh, you think you better than me because you.
That's not even what I mean.
But
and that's my point, that you're not mentally there because you're not even. Yeah. You're not even realizing what I'm telling you.
You gotta learn. You gotta learn who you talking to. You gotta know them inside and out. So you gotta know how to word it. You
gotta dim it down.
It's about how you say it.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can't say we're not mentally compatible. We're not there. I love you. You my brother, but you doing dumb shit. You can't tell them that sometimes. Sometimes you gotta water it down. Like, you know what? I don't do that no more. But I'm willing to pull up on you when you know chilling at the crib, or this is what I'm on now. This is my mission. This is what I'm trying to do. I can't give you all the intel, all the details because I'm still figuring out as I'm going. But just know that I am trying to better myself. So I might isolate myself for a little bit. No pun intended towards you or what you got going on. But I'm not on that kind of timing no more. You know how many times I've been around the guys and they, man, we finna go get back. Whoa, hey, shit,
I'm cool.
Hey, I'm cool. I'm not on that kind of timing. But don't think it's a game.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
don't play with me, man.
I'm pushing credit, but like, hey, it's still.
I'm pushing
like,
P too. Fuck you talking about?
Like, but it's still, you know, I'm still a man at the end of the day. I'm not gonna let nobody come step on me or stand over me.
But I'm not doing nothing dumb to put myself in a bad predicament. All this hard work and all these seeds I didn't sow.
And I'll be damned if I let somebody jeopardize everything I worked hard for because they want to play crazy or some shit I did in the past, or you know, that kind of stuff can fall back on you. So I have to be mindful of where I'm at, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, because it's certain people that don't care.
They don't care
that I changed.
No,
they looking at it like, hey, you did this 10
that's
years
still
ago.
cool. That's still
and
you.
It's like, hey, I ain't even living like that no more. But then you got to still be conscious of, like, I got to be aware of where I'm at and what I'm doing. It's a lot of things I want to do in the community. Am I doing it? Probably not at the full potential that I could be doing. Should I let that hinder me? No, because I should always believe that God is going to keep me protected at any means necessary, that they won't even be able to lay a hand on me or be able to put any harm towards my way. So I had to still remind myself that even though, you know, I still think like I think, like I have to still realign.
That's why knowing them scriptures, bro, is big. You know what I'm saying? Because like in that predicament where you know that you were just in, like where you kind of like reminding yourself, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? No weapon formed against me shall prosper.
Psalms 23, Psalms 18.
You see what I'm saying? Now you you know what I'm saying? And I feel like those are those little things that we need. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of like how you used to study your times tables. Like when you getting tested, that's what God did when he was in the Garden of Eden. He was able to, when God came and tempted him, when he was fasting at his lowest, he was able to recite them scriptures like, no, you ain't gonna fool me because or this. You see what I'm saying? So it's like them is like your punches to the world. So it's like, all right, now back up off me. I'm gonna keep on pushing up. Back up off me. I'm gonna keep on pushing up. You know what I'm saying?
You're right though, cuz that's exactly how you got to do it nowadays though. You got to be selfish with your time, and you can't feel bad about it. You can't feel bad about saying no. You can't feel bad about isolating yourself. Isolation is gonna, if you're doing it for the right reasons. Now, some people isolate and they get weird. They do weird stuff and they just cut everybody off and just feeling they sorrow and just give up. Now, you got a difference when you're actually mentally there. You done rewired the way that you think. That's the hardest thing to do. Everything that's been installed in you is hard to unwire. So to rewire the way that you think and do the opposite of what you were taught as a child or a teenager, whatever it was, is hard. So, man, once you get in those principles and you learn yourself, like, people really need to dive into who they are. Like, really write down on the paper, you know, who am I? And really dig deep in that. Who am I? And you got to go dig deep, man. I mean, don't just say, oh, I'm Aries and this is that and da-da-da-da. Like,
Because you the only one, you and God the only ones who know who you really are.
yeah, who you really are. What do you dislike? What do you like doing?
And at that point, if you can't even do that, nigga, you cheating yourself and you don't even want to get nowhere, no way.
Exactly. So I had to ask myself that. I used to do my own vision boards. Me and my life coach, he used to have me do, 45-minute segments. He was really pushing me out my comfort zone when I wasn't really open to talk about my lifestyle or the stuff I did in the past. I didn't want to be the credit pusher. I just wanted to just do it on the back end. And he like, no, you got a story. You need to tell that. And I'm like, I ain't comfortable. I ain't never even told the person I was close. Like, I don't talk about this kind of stuff. Like, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
had to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I didn't like being on camera and doing all that. I'm not no photogenic person. I don't take pictures like that. Like doing the music and stuff back in the day, that's a part of the industry.
But that ain't what you wanted to do.
If you ask anybody in the group, yeah, they might have been like, yeah, you had your shirt off. You was back in the day, I used to shirt off, drinking and stuff like that. But honestly, I didn't want to do that. Like, if you would have really dove into me, like, do you like doing this? I like making music, yeah. Do I like doing the performance and all? And I don't like doing all that. It's too much. It's making me uncomfortable. But it probably didn't look like that on the outside looking in. Even when I'm doing stuff now on the entrepreneur side of things, like now that I'm doing this, it's like I still don't, shooting content and all that. I don't really like doing it. But it's a part of the job.
Tell me about it, bro.
It's
like,
a part of it.
Like, it be certain times where like it still feel uncomfortable bringing the camera in.
Yeah.
Like. Like, I don't know, like we could even have like we'll record, but it be some spots where we be at and I'm like,
and that
I don't need to do that because at the end of the times, like some of them times where we be in there, like it was a time where granted, we went to the barbershop and I always have deep conversation and different shit, and I told him not to record because I don't know, like I ain't gonna lie, I grew up in a church, so like it like sometimes I just be feeling stuff, or like I like it be certain stuff where I get a feeling. Like back in the day, I had a feeling where it was like, man, I can't hang out with these niggas no more.
You got that sixth sense.
And then boom,
that gut feeling.
It was like some shit happened, and it was like, so for instance, like so we was about to record, and I'm like, the whole time I didn't call cut or record. We didn't record it up there, intro, everything. I'm like, don't record when we get in here. Yeah, it's cool. As soon as we get in there, don't get me wrong. Should we have recorded?
Probably.
Maybe. Because it was a crazy deep conversation that even, we was in there, we was in the barbershop for at least an hour plus. Yeah. So it was like, yeah, should we have recorded it? But like, I got that feeling to where it's like, no, let's not record because it ended up being a deep thing for, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was just like, I don't know. It just like decide, I have to get that in me to just record everything. You have to, and like I had, and that's why I said I wasn't comfortable. It's probably not one of my favorite things on the bucket list when it comes to being, in the content space or social media. But you have to be uncomfortable, and I had to learn how to be good at that. When I first got into it, Beezy, we went to Florida, and bro just set up an area like you finna push in and do some content. You need to push content out. I'm like, bro, I don't want to talk about credit or nothing like that. I don't like he just put me on the spot. He set me a little area up, put the mic right there, like, and set the camera on me and like, come on. And like he taught me how to do content literally in a week, bro. Like Beezy is a good coach. Like that's my brother, you know what I'm saying? But he pushed me out my comfort zone to really put myself back on the camera. I didn't want to do that. But now it's like it's second nature. Like, when you come in, like if I'm doing a pod or I'm doing something, you want to be recording, you want to do that because you need to have those moments to look back on and reflect on and see areas where you can grow. Even when I do enrollments for clients, when I'm on Zoom, I'm on a Zoom call. I record the whole, segment of what we got going on so I can see areas I can work on my offer, or if I need to change something on the back end when it comes to the presentation, or if I'm training somebody, I need to know what I can add on and get better at. So this is all, a lesson. It's all experience. That's kind of like watching film in sports, bro. Like that's why you got to realize though, people always like love to talk about Jordan. But his athleticism and all this different shit. But at the end of the day, when you look at who the GOAT is on the football field, it's Tom Brady. Yeah. The most non-athletic nigga on the field. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Don't got the strongest arm. None of that. But what he did was his attention to detail. He was intentional. And at the same time, one of the biggest things was he watched film. He paid attention. So basically watching film is critiquing. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, like, that's like me getting on here, recording this, editing, getting it all edited up, not paying attention to it, and not seeing where I needed to work on. And it's like, right now, we could be thinking we had a great thing, but we could have missed out on something. So it's like, it's always something that we can always dive into, or it's always something you missing. You know what I'm saying? Even when you winning, it's always something to keep looking for. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's the biggest thing right now is like, even when you winning, you can't be complacent. I feel like that's the biggest thing for me. It's like, even when everything is starting to fall, even though you've been going through different things, different obstacles, I feel like you cannot be complacent. You can't sit there and just be like, I feel like you can't bask in your success yet.
You can't.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, I feel like that's when you lose.
You can lose. Like, I didn't overindulge on a lot of things, whether it was music or just in entrepreneurship. Once you up on a high pedestal, you know, it's easy to get knocked back off of that once you feel like you didn't accomplish something, because everybody prays and they all, what up, bro? You doing this and that. And you can let that get to your head, or you can keep executing, making moves happen, and keep building your network. So like you said, you can't get stuck and get complacent in that. You have to still push yourself. That's why it's big to network with people and be around people that's smarter than you, richer than you, and stuff like that, because you're always on your feet. Like my mentor, man, like we was in a room, somebody had said they did 60 million. He said, are you complaining? Or are you, or he said, what did he tell you? He said, he said something crazy. He said, are you complaining, or are you pretty much like, you bragging about it? And 60 million, it's like, what? Like, are you complaining, or are you really bragging? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what you doing? You know what I'm saying? And then I'm seeing people closing 12K. Like, so that was uncomfortable for me, because I didn't even want to tell the numbers I was doing. I wasn't nowhere near no 60 million or no 10 million. It's like, so I didn't even want to say like, oh yeah, I just brushed over, 6 figures, and I'm planning on doing 7 figures in about a year, But it's just like, I had to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I had to be around big dogs like that, that's doing 100 million, doing different things. Like one event when I got the award at the Martin Luther King Awards last year up in Houston, Texas, I won for generating 6 figures in my credit repair company and my business funding company. Now, the business funding company right now, we're about 100,000 away from being able to do 6 figures. So we're almost at the pinpoint for $1 million. Now, the awards are coming up in a few weeks. I'm hoping that I can get it done before then. I got one client that's in line. Long story short, it was a guy in there, right? This dude was dressed, and he had all type of different stuff going on. He had on some dress pants. He had on a hoodie and a scully, and he just looked at unorthodox. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, who is this dude? You know what I'm saying? We all, everybody, all of us in suits and stuff, we all in there, and he just the only one that's not in the suit. And I went up and got my award. My award, the 6-figure award, it's pretty decent size. Other people was getting smaller ones. So I'm looking at my award like, okay, I got a little something going on. I'll get my stuff, take my picture with the billionaire cat. He owned a lot of real estate, Dr. McDonald. And actually, after him, the cat that I seen with all of the unorthodox clothing on, they call his name up there for $100 million award. Didn't look like he did 100 million. And
that's what I want to look like.
If you go back and you look at the footage, like I got the footage on social media, man. Like if you see him, you're gonna be like, there's no way. Like, but it just blew my mind. Like, you never know who you in the room with, who you talking to. You gotta treat everybody the same way, no matter how they look or what they dressed in. So after that, I want to talk to him. And you know what he told me? He said, man, you know why I win? He said, because of data. And if you got data, bro, you got money. You know what I'm saying? Data is the new source of income. If you can track every single thing on how people spend money, what they're doing, how they do it, it's very intentional. When I run ads, it's very intentional. I know how many people are clicking on my page. I know how many people watched it, how far they watched it in the video. Then I retarget my ads in front of them, depending on how much they watch in the video. If you watch my video for 25 seconds and then you click off, I'm going to just retarget you with some more content that's going to be more intentional on what you were looking at. And then once you watch it to 50 to about 90%, now I'm going to start putting offer content in your face. And you're going to be wondering, like, why does nigga keep popping up down my timeline? And now he got these specials going on, and now I done got you to log in and clock.
That's how Wall Street Chopper is.
That's how every marketer is, though. Once you learn data, you're going to have money. So to go back to it, he sells hair. He went on tour with Beyonce. He did a tour with her, and took off of that. He made a lot of money, so he had a lot of high-end clients. Like, to be going on tour with Beyonce selling hair, you a real
nigga,
man.
You up off Beyonce.
But he's a man, though. He ain't
that don't mean you pause because you selling hair.
He not on no weird timing. Like, he really was like, and he sell hair, got a real website, really doing numbers, and it looked like females running the whole time. He behind the scenes. He done did 100 million in his business. Like, it's mind-blowing to me because you would never expect it to happen like that. So I had to learn, like, man, you got to really dial in on what you're trying to do, figure out who your targeting audience is, and really put something together, because we all have a tribe of people out there for us. So for anybody that's listening, man, you're good and skillful at something. I don't care what it is. I see people do life coaching. Like, They tell you, you're gonna literally tell them what's going on, that's wrong with you. They're gonna sell you the same solution on what you just told them.
Mm-hmm.
But some people need that. Some people need to be accountable. Some people need accountability partners. Some people need an accountability coach to hold them to their word. Because if I go to the gym, right, I started with a coach. I needed that. Because, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to work out, boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna hit,
You don't even know exactly what to do on a day-to-day basis.
I'm going to know what to do on a day-to-day. But what's that one time that I might not want to push that 1 more, 2 more rep? And everybody in the gym know them last 2 to 3 reps be the ones that really stick and put that size on you, So sometimes you need a coach to be like, hey, give me 10 more. Give me this. Push yourself a little bit further. Because if you don't have that, then you just going to settle and get complacent. So you need coaches. You need people in those spaces to help you grow in areas that you lack in. I had to learn a lot about myself, identify my good points and my points that I lacked at, because then I went back to the drawing board like, okay, I'm finna build on everything I suck at doing, everything I hate doing. I'm finna work on that. That ain't fun at all. Like,
it really ain't.
It's not.
And
But
it's stressful as hell.
It's stressful, but you learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
So I know you've been giving us multiple different things, and one of the biggest things that I do at the end, I like to ask, what is a message that you can give to the people?
Man, wealth is measured in time and the legacy you leave behind. So look, you need to dial in right now, because things in the world are getting very hard. Like if you look at it just on an economic basis, if you're looking at it politically, inflation is high. Different things are happening in the world. In our culture, if you're black, we're the only one that's lacking on winning. We're the only one that's lacking in the race at all. Like by 2000, and they predicted by 2050, we should be extinct. We're not going to have any money in the black household because we spend so much money
On everything else.
on everything else. What you see everybody else doing in the spaces right now, in the community. All the rich people are coming out the suburbs. They're going back to the hood. They buying up the block.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get real intentional on buying land. You need to get into real estate. You need to learn about credit. You need to learn a skill, get into stocks, learn about Roth IRAs for your children. I don't care if you got a
I ain't gonna lie,
custodial
you got
account.
me hip on that. On God, my shit, I ain't gonna lie, shit. I've been getting my son right probably like shit the past 3 years. That nigga up, chilly.
Exactly. So that's my message, man. Wealth is measured in time, and the legacy you leave behind wealthier than before, man. So look, that's the movement. Like, that's what I'm pushing. It's the credit pusher. We tapped in on Peep Game, man. That's definitely a blessing for you bringing me on here, though. It's like you said, it's been a long time.
Man, that ain't nothing, man. We been wanting you to get on here, and I think what I'm gonna say is short and sweet to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's either now or never.
Mm-hmm.
Just try to be better than yesterday.
That's real.
I feel like that's the only way you can be, because you only got to take it one day at a time. You can't go no faster.
Can't.
You know what I'm saying? But if you got anything to promote, I know you know what I'm saying. You got everything you got going. The AR credit pusher. I know y'all been hearing it. You know what I'm saying? But cut ready. What you talking about?
I got a couple.
Come on, you can bring it up here for him. We in there personal with it.
Yeah. So I got a couple different things going on right now. So I have the credit Bible right here. How to structure your credit to secure 100K in business funding. So this book right here is the blueprint on everything that I did to get over $250,000 in business credit cards. And I was able to leverage it any way that I want to. And I've been doing this for my clients. So I got a full book showing you what banks and credit unions you can go to, how to run the sequences when you get in the bank, how to double dip so you can be able to get multiple products with one inquiry. So they pull your credit once, you can get a loan, a line of credit, credit cards, all type of different things, and you can leverage all of that, and we're going to liquidate it and run the play. I got stuff for people that, want to just get the loans. If you got bad credit, places you can go to be able to get financing outside of the bank, or even if you don't have anybody, you can go to, just private lenders. I got anything for, minority-owned businesses. So whatever you need, man, I got the whole blueprint, man. I got these on deck, man. Whenever y'all ready, man, just tap in with me. I also have this right here. So this is the Credit Pusher Connect. So right here, this is promoting my software. I have a credit repair software, and it's pretty much AI generated. It uses Metro 2, consumer laws, and eOscar system. So it pretty much, man, it's going to pull your credit report. And when it pulls your credit report, it's going to scan all of the negative items. It's going to generate letters for you customly, so you don't have to pay anybody thousands of dollars. You don't got to pay nobody $1,500, $1,200, whatever they charging. You could do it for yourself at a small fee. So if you put in the discount code Peep Game, I'm gonna give you a 15% discount, and we're gonna run the play. So we got that. I also have a course. So right here, this is a personal credit course for people that want to learn about personal credit. Got the QR code on the back. It's gonna take you to all the websites, the table of contents. So personal credit, what they don't teach us in school, is gonna show you how to set up your LLC and your EIN number so you can obtain the funding. And it's all touchscreen. So we dive right into here, and as you can see, we got the video, man, just pretty much breaking down all of the information you need to know about personal credit, man. I'm breaking down how the point system work, all of that. So, man, when y'all ready to tap in, man, y'all want to check out the course, y'all want to get a physical hard copy course, man, we're going to run the play. Man, just put in the peep game sequence, and, man, I'm going to give y'all a 15% discount, and we're going to run the play for the new year.
We definitely going to tap that shit in. You know what I'm saying? We going to definitely have a promo code at the very bottom of every single thing that we posting so y'all be able to get it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, credit is king out here. You know what I'm saying? If you don't got the chili, credit is going to get you where you need to be. You know what I'm saying? But you got to know what you got to do with the credit. You know what I'm saying? To be able to leverage it. And at the end of the day, if you're not taking this, you don't want to win. You know what I'm saying? Because this is somebody who already did it, already went to did all the extra shit. He just trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Trying to get
lead
back
you
and
to the
help.
water. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't, is you thirsty or not, nigga? Damn.
Exactly. So like I said, man, we got credit repair, we got business funding. So if you already have a high credit score over 700 and you want to learn how to access the business funding and you want to be able to get over $250,000 or, you know, your first 6 figures, and tap in. If you want help with mentorship and you want me to hold your hand through the whole sequence and teach you everything that I know, show you how to start your own credit repair company, tell you how to start your own business funding company, whatever you want to do. It's all the extra skill that you can use. It don't matter what field or whatever you're doing. Having access to the information to run the play with the credit is always going to be beneficial. So if y'all need help in any of them areas, man, tap in. I'm going to get y'all together.
Do you want to ride on the canoe, coach, or the jet? You know what I'm saying? I'm Kenny B for real.
Yep.
And we with AR, you know what I'm saying?
AR the credit pushing, man. You already know what time it is.
We out of here.